Now, two people from Georgia are accused of scamming Dickinson County businesses out of thousands of dollars with fake credit cards. One of those two has taken a plea agreement. Georgia natives Shani Clark and Jonathan Daniels were arrested in May 2025 following an investigation between the Iron Mountain Police Department and MSP Iron Mountain Post. Investigators say the two purchased more than $21,000 of items using fake credit cards. Court documents show Clark had a plea hearing yesterday morning in Dickinson County Circuit Court. Those records show 5 of Clark's 7 charges were dismissed as part of a plea agreement. She is awaiting sentencing for her 2 remaining felony charges, having a fake or stolen credit card and using it to buy something. It's been scheduled for August 3rd at 9 in the morning.